It's Becca, your life and spiritual coach. Make sure y'all check out my girl Jaszy Mango. You can follow me on @Becca Bak or visit my website at beccabak.com.
Hey guys, this is your girl Jaszy Mango and welcome to the Jaszy Mango Red Carpet Lounge. I'm sitting here chilling with my homegirl, Miss Becca Bak. How are you doing?
Hey y'all, I'm doing good, girl. How are you?
I've been so good. You know, you got me together a little bit before this pre-tape, and I feel like so amazing, like with, you know, you're a spiritual coach, you're a guidancer, just all out amazing person.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Where do you get this within yourself?
Oh my gosh, I get it from Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus and coffee. It's so funny. I said, I'm going to be my complete self.
To that new Starbucks, huh?
Yeah, girl, so
I've never seen it. It's really new.
It came out of nowhere. And the thing about me is I don't know how to ride past a Starbucks without stopping.
Right,
like
right,
it could literally be two on the same block, and I'm stopping at both of them, and I'm getting the same order. My tall and the venti iced coffee, sweet and breve, extra ice.
Well, what have you been up to lately?
Man, what have I been up to? So I left my job in April of 2018 this year, and it was a leap of faith to start my business in coaching. I had already been coaching for a year, and I had been going through training, certifications, had some clients, and I decided that I wanted to go full time. So I left in April, and God has really sustained me for this entire year. It's been amazing, just like mind blown how when you walk by faith and you walk in purpose, that He just takes care of everything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and in 2019, I'm just looking forward to expanding my business, really building my brand, boosting my brand, and really taking what I learned in 2018, because 2018 was a year of me just discovering like who I am as a coach. Right. And we just had the conversation a few minutes ago before we got on camera about how challenging it is for me to brand myself as a spiritual coach, like just being fearful of what that might look like or come off as, or how I can monetize that. But I mean, I really have been doing that. Like I've gone through a year of just testing things out, trying out different client methods and, business models. And I'm fortunate to be able to do that. Most people once you start, it has to be right.
Absolutely.
Or, within the 6 months or a year, like it'll take. But God has really just been sustaining me as I've been exploring and learning the type of client that I want to work with and the type of brand that I want to build. And it always goes back to me just being a spiritual, counselor and spiritual guidance for people. That's who I am at my core. It's something that I've been doing for years. It's been something that people have sought me after for as long as I can remember. So I figured, as long as I'm doing what I'm called to do, then everything else will work out, and it has been.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you said that you specialize in single mothers and bringing families back together.
Yes.
And that's something that really touched me, as being a single mother, having my son at 18, and being in college and being able to finish. It's a struggle. It's a struggle when you have two parents in the household, but definitely having one. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like us being entrepreneurs that it's just not going to happen.
Right.
And for a person like me, like, what would you suggest just to get me through the day?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So honestly, for that, I just suggest seeking God every single day. And there's so many distractions in this world that keep us from doing that. But the reality is, when we eliminate those distractions and we just give Him our best and give Him our first, and not overcomplicate things or make it seem like it's something that's unattainable, like He literally takes care of the rest. And so if you go to my website, there's actually a prayer planner worksheet that I have. And that was really just how it started out for me. Like, I just got tired of being in cycles and being frustrated and like wanting things but not seeing them. Right. And so I started seeking God. I've always been seeking God, but I just started seeking Him in just a new or refreshing way. And I would find myself every morning writing lists. So like lists of things that were worrying me, lists of bills that were overwhelming me, lists of things that I was grateful for, lists of people that were getting on my nerves, lists of dreams that I wanted to, obtain. And in my journals, like I have literally probably 30 journals because I'm a writer at heart. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But I just was always writing lists and writing letters and journals to Jesus. And I was just like, I look forward to this. I want to create something that people can look forward to so that they can have an authentic relationship with God as well. So I just said, what would that look like? And I created this worksheet. And so if you download it, literally every day at my desk, I'll fill it out. And it's a way for me to just release everything to God. Like we talk about wanting to surrender, but sometimes we take so long to surrender. Like we'll have a great experience with God and we'll feel so refreshed and renewed, and then 6 months later we realize that we haven't even touched base with him again.
Absolutely.
But he wants our every single day, and not because he wants to control it. Yes, he's in control, but he doesn't want to control it. He wants it because he knows better than we do. Right. He sees so much further ahead than we do. He knows, the obstacles that we're going to need to overcome in order to get to the miracles that we're desiring. So on a section of that sheet, there's the 10 big miracles that you're trusting God for. I've been trusting God for a house, a godly marriage, a 6-figure business, a best-selling book. These are all things that, and I'm being really transparent with you. Like, people are usually fearful of sharing the things that they want because it's like, okay, well, people would, try to make, speak things negatively over that. I actually put up a Facebook message yesterday asking, like, which type are you? Are you the type to speak it by faith? Or are you the type to conceal it and, so that people don't, take advantage of that, or conceal it to protect it? And I'm learning that your faith will protect it. Being silent doesn't protect it. Being silent is actually doubting God. Being silent is like, okay, if I say it too soon, then people are going to laugh at me when it doesn't happen. And that's being fearful of God. If you've heard God clearly, then you know what it was. And those 10 things are things that I know that God is going to give me. He's going to give me a godly marriage. So me saying that I'm praying for a godly marriage isn't going to prevent it from happening. Like, the devil doesn't have that much power. Right. We give him so much more authority than he actually has by believing that he can do things. That's faith. Like, you're believing in whatever you're believing in is what's going to happen. So I'm believing that he has no authority and that those things will fail. It's the reason why I'm so passionate about families. Because he's taken so much advantage of our families, and he's breaking marriages up and he's breaking families up, and some of us are letting it happen. Or some of us are being a tool of it. Like we talked about, women. Yeah. And how, their insecurities can cause them to like be desperate and seek out relationships to literally destroy. It's the most bizarre thing, because you would think that they want it, but because of the hurt that they've been through, and because it's all that they've ever known, they think it's the only way to have what they want. Right. And so, as women of faith and women of God, we have to be strong enough and be vigilant enough to see those tools that are being used against us every single day. And when we wake up every single morning and pray, that's how we're able to equip ourselves. So when I wake up every single morning and all those fears, I just write them out. Like, being in a relationship and being fearful of what threats might come and try to harm that, I'll write it out. Like, Lord, protect my relationship, protect him, protect me from being distracted and from the other distractions. And those are the things that will keep the enemy out of our relationships. But when we just wake up and kind of just go about our business, then he's just like looking for ways to come in. Yeah. The Bible says that he, is seeking for whom to devour. And I just won't be devoured. So I need to get up every single morning and pray and give myself to God and give my day to God and give all my worries to God, because he's so much bigger. And what happens is when I do that, I have a clear head and the clarity to actually pursue the dreams and the goals and be able to help other people. So when we talk about what the source is, I can't offer my service or myself to anybody if I'm not fully, present and fully whole. Absolutely. And so that encourages me to get up every single day. No matter what field you're in, no matter what your business is, no matter what you're pursuing, you need to be your best self. And the only way that we can do that is when we give our morning routine to give ourselves a morning routine. And it has to involve God. I mean, if you're a person of faith, it has to involve God. I mean, if you're not a person of faith, then whatever is your source, like, that's what's going to be leading you. And however much that can strengthen you is how strong you're going to be. And so for me, it's just like, I can't really pursue anything else because nothing is as strong. My actual heart is writing. Okay. And so I'm working on a book. I've been working on a book. I've been through some things, and people don't always know that about me. And so whenever I talk to people about it, because I'm really involved in the community and nonprofit, I'm actually a financial coach at a firm that helps returning citizens. So that's people who are coming out of jail, recovering from homelessness, recovering from drug addiction, and we're helping them get jobs. And then my job is to help them maintain those jobs and maintain their finances after the fact, so that they don't go back to the same habits that got them to where they were. And I tell my story, and they're just like stunned, because you know, they think that, you know, okay, so we have these people that are at the end of their rope. They've lost hope. They're just looking for another chance. And you have all these programs that are serving, you know, these people, but don't relate. And so when I get up there and I'm talking to them and I say, hey, like, I've actually been homeless before. Hey, I've actually been rejected and abandoned. I've been, you know, on drugs. I've been addicted to alcohol. I've been in those situations, and I'm literally a living testimony that you can overcome it. Then they hear me a lot different than someone who's just walking in and saying, okay, we'll just like use this budget and da 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 da. Like, I literally am living that. And I talked about, I don't know if I mentioned it just yet, but, you know, buying the house. We talked about that a little bit ago. A year ago, I was told that I couldn't buy a house. It made no sense to me that I was 30 years old. I, you know, was making, I'm not going to say how much, but a lot of money at the time. And had money saved up, responsible, 2 degrees, and I was told that I couldn't buy a house. I knew nothing about the credit score, how to maintain it, all that stuff. Like majority of us. Right, you go to college and they're just like, here, sign here, get this credit card, max it out, do whatever. Here, sign here, you get a promissory note, you'll pay us back whenever, but you don't know that you're signing your life away, you're signing your finances, you're basically in bondage. The interest rates are crazy, the monthly payments, like I'm paying $1,000 in school debt. I mean, towards school debt a month, and it's really insane. But they didn't teach you that. So nevertheless, my debt to income ratio still wasn't good enough for me to buy a house. So, or at least not at a reasonable rate. Like, I would have been paying something crazy. And that's the thing about it is, you know, they sell our community, black people, these dreams and say, oh, just here's the price tag, it's nothing. But we don't know that they're literally giving everyone else who doesn't like us at a much lower rate. Yes. And they have all the different reasons. And so basically, I left my job for a lot of reasons. I left my job to write the book. I left my job to start the business. But I left my job because I wanted to focus my life on helping educate people on what I learned in that process. So, you know, trying to buy a home, not being able to buy a home, trying to figure out, you know, how to boost my credit score. Did all those things. Started teaching workshops in schools to middle school and high schoolers, because I realized that I wasn't taught that. The only financial skills that I was taught was in my 10th grade history class. They brought a banker in for 20 minutes. We learned about, you know, retirement savings, da da da. Wasn't really much to go off of, and really they were just trying to sell us, you know, a bank account. Absolutely. So, but not genuinely try to teach us how to create generational wealth. And so I've committed my life to doing that. My family never had it. We grew up in poverty. We were on food stamps. We celebrated things like the $1 dozen donuts that you get from Shipley's. I grew up in Texas. Shipley's donuts, the basically next day donuts, because our family couldn't even afford to buy, you know, like the same day donuts. So those are things, it was different things like that that I grew up on that, you know, I cherish because they made me who I am, but that I want to be able to overcome. Right. So here we are, just over a year later, and I got pre-approved last week to buy a house. I got a really good rate. I'm about to be a homeowner, and it took me a year. That's something that takes people decades. I was going to say, that was very quick. So I'm really aggressive when it comes to... Well, what did you do in that year that changed? So I learned everything that I could. I took the advice of the counselors and the lenders that I was talking to. So, you know, pay this down, get this credit card, da 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 da. I got secured credit cards because I didn't want to get something that I couldn't afford. Right. I kept the limit below 30% at all times. I vigorously paid down my debt. So my school loans, the reason why I was paying $1,000 was because I didn't want to make excuses. I had things to live off. I mean, I had expenses, but you know, if I want to have this house, I need to stop making excuses. So I mean, my budget dramatically decreased. I mean, I can tell you how to live off of. No, that's where I'm at. $20 for 3 weeks. You know, you have to be like that. And you know what I mean? Happy. And everybody's like, well, let's go. I can't. Nope. I learned how to say no. Can't. No became my favorite response. Yeah. I mean, I missed weddings. Yeah. I missed baby showers. Yeah. I missed birthdays. Yeah. I missed everything. Yeah. You know, I communicated and I sent my well wishes and I did what I could that was within reason and within budget. I was blessed to have a friend, by me being transparent about where I was, who brought me into her home for $250. I was paying rent, so basically next to nothing. I cut every single expense that I could down. I even had I left my phone off for a period of time so that I could use that money to pay off my school, like pay towards a school loan. I made sure that I wasn't late on any school payments. So yeah, I just did what it took. Yeah. And it wasn't just ramen that I was eating. I was still eating well.
Right.
You know,
you just were budgeting way better. Yeah. I really commend you for being able to say that. I mean, I talk about this with my friend all the time because people don't get it. So it's like what you see people out there do, you cannot let that phase you. You have to stick to your plan, see your vision through. And like you say, a year later, you know how quick that is? Yeah. I don't think people that understand finances and understand credit understand that is very quick. And I just want to tell you, like, I commend you.
I'm trying to tell you, even the advisors and the counselors were like, just no. Like, it's going to take you a while. And I'm just like, okay, just tell me what to do and watch me do it. So look out for the Black Woman Leadership Survival Guide. Print copies will be available very soon. And I am taking the next step to focus a book on being a Black woman that's single. And then also being a Black woman in ministry and being a Black woman, you know, just you name it.
So it's like a series. I like
It's going to be a series.
Yes,
and it's going to be tools, practical stuff, not anything about me. Like, I'm just not one of those people that wants to have like my face on a book. Like, learn from me how to be perfect or make six figures. Like, I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that actually like transforms lives. And I've seen transformation take place in my office as I'm coaching people and as I'm just, you know, calling out the greatness in them. And I know that's what I've been called to do. And I've also withstood like a lot of crap, a lot of BS, you know, in all of those different arenas. And I'm grateful for those experiences because I want to be able to share with people, because I realize why we're not seen in the boardrooms, why we're not seen in the political arena as much. I was cheering for all the Black women that were, you know, running for positions this past election. And I wrote the book for that reason, because I realized how many people just get discouraged. Like, if I wasn't the aggressive person that I was, I would have given up a long time ago. Because there were nights that I cried. There were nights that I wanted to fight. And we just can't let those things keep us out of the running. There's so many things against us. So I just wanted to share as much as possible to help encourage women to, you know, keep fighting the good fight. It's not going to change. We're still going to have the short end of the stick everywhere we go, but it's not any reason for us to settle for less.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you for coming to the Jazzy Mingo Red Carpet Lounge. So many jewels that you dropped.
Such a pleasure.
So much information that I hope people really take this and not with a grain of salt. I hope they really take this and research, learn your stuff, learn about these red lines, learn about how to get your credit down. A lot of people, I just recently learned about the whole 30% thing. We think we get a credit card, we buy what we want, and even if we pay it off, that's building credit, and it's not. That 30% and keeping it under is very important. So I just want to thank you for coming and sharing. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Y'all can follow me at Becca Bak. That's BECCABAK. And you can go to my website at beccabak.com. BECCABAK. I have a ton of resources on there. You can find the Black Women Leadership Survival Guide temporarily on the digital copy for free up there, but it's going to be going on Amazon soon. I got to make some money somehow, so I'm going to start charging for it. But in the meantime, if you do catch this before then, check it out. There's other stuff on there. My toolkit on how to negotiate your salary is up there. I have my prayer planner worksheet that I talked about, and then you can also book me for a coaching session, and you can find out how to do that at my website as well. Many more things to come in 2019, and I'm really excited about that, so just stay tuned.
Yes, guys, and this is your host, Jazzy Mingo. Thank you for tuning into the Jazzy Mingo Red Carpet Lounge. Make sure to also check me out on Love Hurts on the Silk White YouTube channel. And guys, you know, Mingo After Dark is coming.